Okay, I hope everybody online is able to see this. We were on this one, right? Okay. Done with this slide? Sure. Done with this one? Online? Can I progress? Can I proceed? Yeah. What is that? Legendary on air. Okay. Next. Reliance and Disney are now forming a joint venture. So Reliance Industries, Viacom Media Private, and Walt Disney Company, they all have joined to create one of India's largest TV and streaming firms. As of now, Disney का streaming किसके साथ है? Hotstar, right? So imagine Reliance, Viacom, Viacom 18, and Walt Disney. If they all join, Hotstar already is one of India's largest OTTs, and with these companies coming together, Patingi. सस्ता हो गया था. See, if I've got 10 subscribers and I charge 100 rupees, how much am I going to earn? Huh? 10 subscribers at 1,000 rupees. If I bring my subscription charge to 10 rupees, but I get 1,500 subscribers. That's what I'm saying ना. 10 subscriber से मैं 100 रुपए लूं या 1000 subscriber से 2 रुपए लूं, फायदा किसमें है? And technologically speaking, for OTT, how much investment do I need to do to cater to 100 versus 500? टेक्नोलॉजिकली इतना फर्क ऐसे तो नहीं है. वैसे थिएटर में अगर 100 की जगह 500 को बिठाना है तो लिटरली 100 सीट की जगह 500 सीट के उतना सारा खर्चा होगा. बट फॉर थिंग्स ऑनलाइन, इवन फॉर प्रिंटिंग आई नीड दैट मच कॉस्ट. फॉर थिंग्स लाइक ओटीटी 1 करो या 100 करो. सो बिजनेस सेंस डज इट मेक to actually reduce the price so that I get more customers? Simple math hai, right? 10 people at 100 is 1,000. 100 people at 20 rupees is still 2,000. But price आपका 1/5 हो गया, but number of customers proportionally इतने बढ़ गए. So for digital world, it becomes very, very easy to reduce prices if they want more customers. So Reliance will put 11,500 crores and get 51% stake. That means Reliance is going to be the major stakeholder. And Disney will get 36.3%. Remaining is with Paramount Global. So content production will become sasta and more expansion of the platform. You know how much today they are controlling the streaming content in India? What percentage between these people? What amount of Indian streaming audience they are controlling? Huh? Close, 75%. Imagine 75, 3/4 of the entire streaming content is being, and there are other major players. Which are the other major OTT players in India? Netflix hai, Amazon Prime hai, right? With छोटे मोटे तो बहुत सारे, Sony Live hai, ZEE5 and all those things. But just this one thing, they own, I mean, they control 3/4. So kitna? And plus, if they are going to expand the content amount, then it's crazy. Anyway, done with this. Reliance and Disney. Reliance already Jio तो Reliance का ही है ना? Then imagine it's going to be big. Done. Chalo. So obviously the joint venture Star India, Hotstar, and Viacom का जितना भी distribution है for sports and other things, they'll all become together. So number of movies that you are able to see, the content will exponentially grow up. Even today, 52% of the TV audience and 75% of the streaming viewership, that is OTTs, is being controlled by them. आजकल टीवी देखता है कोई? सालों के बाद टीवी होता क्या है वो भी नहीं पता होगा. How many of you watch OTTs? How many of you watch OTTs on television and on mobile? दोनों पे. OTT टीवी पे कैसे देख पाते हो? घर वाले नहीं बोलते कि हमको हमारा देखना है? अच्छा, टाइमिंग अलग सेट है सबका. हमारे घर तो 2-3 चीजें ही चलती रहती है जिसमें मेरे को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. पॉपुलरली क्या चलता है तुम्हारे? हाँ? अच्छा, अंग्रेजी चीजें चलती है. तू तेरे का नहीं, मेजरली चलता क्या है? तू देखे ना देखे, लेकिन हाँ, बापू के हाथ में रिमोट है तो तारक मेहता चलता होगा, अम्मा के हाथ में रिमोट है तो अनुपमा चल रहा होगा. दोनों में कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है अपने को. नहीं, योर पेरेंट्स विल स्टिल बी वर्किंग, राइट? हाँ, माय पेरेंट्स आर रिटायर्ड. तो सुबह तारक मेहता का पिछला वाला एपिसोड देखेंगे, फिर उसके पिछले का पिछला वाला एपिसोड दोपहर को देखेंगे, फिर नया एपिसोड शाम को देखेंगे. दिन भर वही चलते रहता है. There used to be a time when serials used to be 13 episodes long, and any serial which had 52 episodes was considered a mega serial. अभी 5,000 एपिसोड होते हैं. 5,000 एपिसोड का कंटेंट क्या होता है? कुछ नहीं होता है. सेम थिंग अगेन एंड अगेन चलते रहता है. हद है. ओके, नेक्स्ट, साइंस. There is something called the 10,000 genomes project. You understand what is meant by a genome? आपका जीन्स, डीएनए, एनीथिंग. जीन्स क्या होता है पता है ना? डीएनए क्या होता है? अपने शरीर में जो भी characteristics of human beings, they are all encoded in DNA. So the Department of Biotechnology, they have completed the project, and they're not starting, they've completed the project, 10,000 genome. What was this? So, there are millions and millions of DNA sequences. See, you know what DNA is made up of? What? There are 4 specific things: A, C, T, and G. Adenosine, thymine, adenine, guanine, uracil, and thymine or something, right? So इनका जो sequence है, किस order में? A, T, C, G, A, whatever the sequence is, right? So whatever sequence is that the way it is sequenced, it determines what characteristics you will have. And every human being more or less has a unique DNA. So fingerprints are a DNA, but within populations, some DNA sequences can match, right? जैसे कि Negro populations will have some characteristics, Caucasian population will have some characteristics, Mongoloid population will have some characteristics. So the Department of Biotechnology, they have sequenced thousands of genomes from India, right? So that to understand how exactly is the genetic makeup of Indians. More specifically, this is for tribal regions and other things. Because if we understand what exactly is the genetic structure, we can create medicines for a lot of different things. They have sequenced thousands of individual genomes. Individual genomes. I'm not saying 10,000 लोगों का किया है. 10,000 genomes have been done. Variety of populations. Huh? Yeah, they've identified certain sequences, and they did it across 1,000 plus subpopulations, right? Like every particular गांव में जाके, शहरों में जाके, उस particular region के लोगों का, who are all genetically similar. So they have used almost 1,000 plus groups and identified sequences which are specific to India. So it helps with precision medicine. It helps with genetic epidemiology studies. So things which specifically affect the Indian population, they have successfully identified. Now, obviously, work will continue on that. The first genome in India was sequenced in 2008. And this project started under 2020. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Right? आवड़ा, आगे बढ़े। हाँ, फटाफट फटाफट फटाफट। हाँ हाँ, बट लॉकडाउन का असर एज इन we don't know whether it started after March. What if it started in Jan or Feb? यानी कि हम लोग जो वेले बैठ के दिन भर सिर्फ रील्स देख रहे थे, कुछ लोगों ने अच्छा काम भी किया है उस टाइम पे। Imagine 2020 में स्टार्ट हुआ प्रोजेक्ट इन 2020. In fact, this project started in 21. The concept was in 2020. The actual work started in 21, and by the beginning of 24, they already done it. Huge. Okay, so total 10,010 genomes from people belonging to 1,014 Indian subpopulations and tribes from all states and union territories have been done. And some of the major institutions which were part of the project is CSIR, Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, IISCR, Regional Center for Genomic Technologies, and Institute of Life Sciences in Bhubaneswar. They worked with IITs and laboratories and hospitals to get all type of specimens from across the country. Internationally, there is something called the Human Genome Project, where they're trying to map the entire Earth. आगे बढ़े। But you, sure. Next appointment. Have you heard of something called the Lokpal? लोक अदालत क्या होता है? And Lokpal क्या होता है? Okay. Have you heard of someone called Anna Hazare? Have you heard of someone called Arvind Kejriwal? How did Arvind Kejriwal come into politics? Huh? So Anna Hazare always campaigns against corruption, and they had a huge rally and stuff where they were fighting against corruption, so-called corruption, and they were fighting for something called the Lokpal Bill, which basically is an anti-corruption agency, right? So because of the anti-corruption movement, Anna Hazare, because led by Anna Hazare and Arvind Kejriwal others, he came. Then he entered politics, and now we know what is happening. But the Lokpal bill was something which they were fighting for and which was passed. So the Lokpal is technically supposed to be a body created for this. But for a very long period of time, there was nobody who was in charge of it. So now, Justice Khanwilkar, he's a former Supreme Court judge, and Ajay Manikrao Khanwilkar, he is the new chairperson for Lokpal, which is an anti-corruption ombudsman. Ombudsman is basically an agency which serves as a complaint agency, right? If you have a complaint against somebody, you go to the ombudsman for that. So for anti-corruption, The ombudsman in India is Lokpal. So he will be in this post for either 5 years or till the age of 70, because that's how the post works. So if he's less than 65, then for 5 years. If he's more than 65, then till the time he's of 70 years of age, he will be the Lokpal. He practiced in the Mumbai High Court for over 20 years, and he was confirmed as a permanent judge in the Bombay High Court in 2013. And in 2015, he was in the Supreme Court, where he served for 6 years and retired in 22. Yes. So he retired in 22 after 65. He's not now Lokpal is not part of the Supreme Court. हाँ. If he's 62 years old. For Supreme Court, not for Lokpal. 65 is the age of retirement for Supreme Court. हाँ? किसी को उठा सकते हैं नहीं? किसमें? लोकपाल? तेरे और मेरे को तो चांस नहीं लगता है बनने का. Normally, it has to be somebody connected to law and justice. Because technically, Lokpal is not the government, but it is the agency which is supposed to keep a watch over the government for corruption-related issues. इसलिए तो बहुत पंगा है लोगों को लोकपाल के साथ. सर, politicians कई सारे नहीं चाहते कि लोकपाल powerful बने. And people want the Lokpal should be there so that all the corruption is handled. After a very long period of time now, finally they've decided, okay, somebody will be the head of the Lokpal. देखते हैं कितना चलता है आगे. And Justice Khanwilkar has been a part of many landmark judgments, which include things like the SC/ST Act, Aadhaar, Finance Act 2017, Sabrimala issue, reservation in jobs. All these cases where Justice Khanwilkar was on the bench. Plus the Nirbhaya gang rape conviction and clean chit of Prime Minister Modi in 2002 riots case. Even on those cases, Justice Khanwilkar was on the bench. Sabarimala, S missing is a Sabarimala case. You know what is a Sabarimala case, right? Women are not allowed entry into the Sabarimala. उसपे बड़ा बड़ा पंगा चला था. Done? Okay. Sure. So basically, what is the Lokpal? It is an anti-corruption ombudsman, and it is an independent statutory body. That means it doesn't fall under somebody's control. Obviously, you cannot have your own controller being under your control. So technically, the Lokpal has a chairperson and 8 members, and the appointment to this committee is done by a committee which is chaired by the Prime Minister, Lok Sabha Speaker, Leader of the Opposition, Chief Justice of India, or a Supreme Court judge who is nominated by the Chief Justice of India. So from all relevant sides, you will have people who will appoint members to the Lokpal. The first Lokpal chief and the only Lokpal chief before was Justice P.C. Ghosh, who completed his tenure in 2022. and 2022 से लेके इनके अपॉइंटमेंट तक it has been vacant. No person has been in the Lokpal. And look at the powers of the Lokpal. He has the powers for superintendence and direction in conduct of business, and he can control all officials and staff of the Lokpal. He can create benches, that is groups from the Lokpal, and give them cases for inquiry and investigation against corruption. And they can inquire and investigate corruption against public servants right from the prime minister to employees of the government. Even the prime minister can be investigated by the Lokpal. So you can imagine how powerful a position it is supposed to be. Supposed to. Okay. The Lokpal issue, when the entire Lokpal Andolan was going on, Lok Andolan, उस टाइम पे भी बड़ा न्यूज में था. And even this year, because the appointment has been done, it is expected that you can have something related to this coming up in exams. So important to know who is the current head. Also important to know what exactly does the Lokpal do. Okay. Next one is just data factual piece of information. The Gaganyaan mission, 4 astronauts named by the Prime Minister. 4 Air Force test pilots have been picked for the Gaganyaan program training, basically sending Indians to space. And the candidates were all from the Indian Air Force or ISRO. So Prashant Balkrishnan Nair, Angad Pratap, Ajit Krishnan, and Shubhanshu Shukla have been given the status of Gagannauts, technically astronauts. बोला हाँ what exactly, where exactly is it going? L1 है कहाँ? It is going towards the sun. The Aditya mission is for towards the sun. So there are certain points where if you reach, you are successful. So one of the milestones is the L1 point, and it has reached there. Can you imagine something going near the sun? यहाँ पे अहमदाबाद में 40 डिग्री टेम्परेचर में अपने पिघलने लगते हैं. The amount of technical expertise it takes to create materials which can sustain that kind of heat, and it's extremely hot and extremely cold in space. चलो डन. अब अपने पड़ोसी मुल्क का भी जरा देख लें. पाकिस्तान. Shehbaz Sharif will be the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and Asif Zardari will be the President. So Shehbaz Sharif के पहले इमरान खान. And do you know Imran Khan, what he was famous for before being the Prime Minister? Cricketers Kapil Dev के time पे Imran Khan was the captain of the Pakistan cricket team and a great cricketer. And भाई साहब आए politics में, but बहुत पंगा चला politics में, and no confidence motion where people voted against him. And भाई साहब टाटा बाय बाय कर गए. And now it is Shehbaz Sharif who is the new Prime Minister. Shehbaz Sharif was the prime minister before from 22 to 23. Asil Zardari has been re-elected. 2008 to 2018, 13 he was. Huh? पाकिस्तान में practically every other or most of them कैसे होते हैं? मिलिट्री के बोले बिना छींक भी खाते हैं वो लोग. ऑफिशियली तो डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है. ऑफिशियली भी डेमोक्रेटिक और डेमोक्रेटिक. ऑफिशियली सबको पता क्या चल रहा है. Done? Okay. Continuing with Pakistan. Maryam Nawaz is the first woman chief minister in Pakistan. And she is the chief minister of Punjab province. And nepotism is not only in Indian politics, because Maryam Nawaz is the daughter of Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif, ex-PM Pakistan. But why Maryam Nawaz is important? Because the first woman to become a chief minister in Pakistan. They've already had a prime minister. Huh? Pakistan has had a female prime minister, Benazir Bhutto. But they have not had a chief minister. So Maryam Nawaz, daughter of Nawaz Sharif, and she has been featured as BBC's 100 women, top 100 women. She has been on the New York Times list of 11 powerful women around the world. ऐसा नहीं है नई नवेली है. I mean, she has been active in politics. She has been acknowledged across the world as being a powerful person in politics. But जो भी बोलो, नवाज शरीफ की बेटी है. और उनके खिलाफ कोर्ट केसेस तो चल ही रहे हैं. If you're in politics and you don't have court cases against you, are you even doing something? Okay, done? Now, again, India. Adani Group unveils domestic ammunition and missile production facility. Why is this in the news? Because technically speaking, arms and ammunition and missile production cannot be done by private parties. Technically, it's only done by, it comes under government. Like Indian Railways is part of the government, right? Private entities are not given permission to do so. So Adani, this is the country's first domestic ammunition and missile production facility, and it's a joint venture with Israel's Elbit Systems. I think this is in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. It's a 50-50 partnership between Adani Elbit Advanced Systems and they will give 155 artillery shells and other ammunitions to the Indian Army. Huh? Abhi, see, a lot of क्या बोलूं उसको, privatization has to keep happening at some point. पहले इंडिया के अंदर even the airline industry was completely national. Nobody, no private person could come. But slowly they realized that the government alone may not be competent enough or may not be enough to satisfy the demand domestically. So fair, after security considerations, they would decide, okay, there's no harm in allowing them. So it does not mean that they will be given unlimited access. What, I don't know the details, but it could be that they are not allowed to sell to private. They can manufacture, but your only customer will be the army. Correct. So there is no harm in allowing limited amount of manufacturing. If the government itself is not having production facilities to satisfy the demand, so with conditions, terms and conditions, allow private entities. In fact, now you are not aware, but before there was so much of restriction on the telecom industry. Other than government entities, telecom में कोई नहीं होता था. आज की तारीख में भी railways is completely handled by the government. But slowly and steadily they realize at some point of time you have to get private partnership. So basically, Adani and Elbit Group, India's first domestic ammunition missile production facility in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. That's the important thing. किसने इनॉग्रेट किया, क्या मैन्युफैक्चर करेंगे, ऑल दैट इज ओके. डन. Okay. Next, something which you guys may be aware of, not maybe the news, but the content. How many of you have heard of ChatGPT? What is ChatGPT? It's an AI bot which basically answers your questions, right? Or it creates text responses. So Reliance has announced India's ChatGPT alternative called Bharat GPT. So Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries and 8 IITs and IISc, Indian Institute of Sciences, they're going to launch a local alternative to ChatGPT. And the name of the AI model is Hanuman. And it is a large language model or LLM system. Hmm? Reliance, Adani, and a lot of other companies have always been around. Point is, अभी आजकल social media बहुत woke हो गया है. They've always been around, right? Even when I was in school, a lot of these companies have been doing stuff, but उस time में reporting इतना नहीं होता था. And अब थोड़ा of course flashy भी हो गए हैं. धीरूभाई अंबानी was never so flashy. मुकेश अंबानी, अनिल अंबानी और अगला generation आ रहा है, so they are more into show and stuff. But many of these companies have been doing big things for years together. ऐसा नहीं कि आजकल एक दो दिन में उन्होंने कुछ किया. Possibility. Some thing like the Tatas don't announce. ये जो भी करते हैं धड़ाके के साथ, समाना धड़ाके. Another chatbot has been in news. So Bharat GPT is something which Reliance Industry and IITs are going to launch. हाँ, गूगल का भी कुछ तो आया है न्यूज में. गूगल का जो बार्ड था उसके साथ जेमिनाई समथिंग दे हैव लॉन्च्ड, जेमिनाई और समथिंग, बट इंडिया रिलेटेड. Done with this. So the other thing is Krutrim is India's first AI unicorn. It's a startup by Bhavish Agarwal, who is the founder of Ola. So Krutrim is also an artificial intelligence startup. It is also similar to ChatGPT and Gemini. And this already Bharat GPT तो होने वाला है. Krutrim has already been rolled out, beta version. And this is more than the OpenAI chat bot. Why this is in news is because this is country's first startup unicorn of 2024. So technically, this can understand over 20 Indian languages. It can generate text in over 10 Indian languages. So the name of the company is also Krutrim. Name of the chatbot is also Krutrim, and it's a multi-level, multilingual large language model (LLM). You know what Krutrim means, right? It's a basic Hindi word. It literally means artificial. Krutrim means artificial. So भाविश अग्रवाल का नाम सुना था? ओला का नाम सुना है? ओला ओवर द share ride वाली company. So Ola founder was Bhavish Agarwal, and he is the person who is also launching Krutrim. डन। तो एआई के ही रिलेटेड एक और चीज है, आजकल बहुत आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का जमाना है। सो अनुवादिनी, there's an AI tool called Anuvadini, which is for multilingual translation. It will convert English material into multiple languages. And since the last 2 years, thousands of textbooks have been translated by this tool. It's part of the government of India thing. So there is an online portal, eKumbh, which is available for translated textbooks from English into local languages. And Anuvadini is the artificial intelligence tool which they're going to use. And in fact, the government has told schools and higher educational institutions that all the study material should be available online in local languages within 3 years. And not just government, also private institutions are supposed to do this. It could include science, humanity, engineering, medicine, law, everything. Hmm? It is supported by the government, yes. So now artificial intelligence is also part of education. In fact, for the past 2 years, they've already been doing it. The problem is not just translating, the problem is checking whether the translation is done properly. That's what they are working on now. So the name of the tool is Anuvadini. And you know what Anuvad means, right? It literally means translation. So Anuvadini, the person who translates, a female who translates. And the UGC, Universities Grant Commission, has given the rule that all the terms, technical terms, have to be translated, and it also has to be given in English. For example, if they give you a term, Laguttam Samanya Avayav and Guruttam Samanya Avayav, how many of you understand what is meant by Laguttam Samanya Avayav and Guruttam Samanya Avayav? Huh? They are term in mathematics. The least common multiple and the highest common factor, LCM and HCF. अगर मैं बोलूं लघुत्तम सामान्य अवयव एंड गुरुत्तम, तो कितनों को समझ में आएगा? Even Gujarati medium students sometimes may not be comfortable. They are more comfortable with the English term LCM HCF. So according to UGC, the technical terms which are hard for the students can be given in English, because perfect translation into the local language creates problems. And even in the courts now, this is being used. 5,000 judgments of the Kerala High Court and district courts have already been translated into Malayalam for locals to understand it. Yes. See, understanding a Gujarati FR to English तो है, but English को गुजराती में translate करना is tough. That's what Anuvadini does. It translates from English to the local language, which is much more required, because number of people who cannot understand Gujarati will be limited in Gujarat. But the number of people who want to read something in Gujarati, but the text is not available, is much larger. And that's where bots like this come in between. Chalo. And blah, blah, blah. In school education also, there is something called a Diksha portal, in which material for JEE, NEET, CUET, they are already being given in 12 Indian languages and English. They are also now working on translating engineering, medical, law, UG, PG, skills, books, and other things. And which languages? All the languages which are included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. The 8th schedule of the Constitution gives a list of languages officially recognized. So according to the Anuvadini tool is supposed to translate into all the languages which have been recognized by the Constitution. Has anybody ever used things like ChatGPT or translation bots? बेसिक के लिए अच्छा है, बट इट स्टिल इज अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट बिकॉज इट कैनॉट गिव यू करंट टू मच ऑफ करंट इंफॉर्मेशन एंड दैट उसमें प्रोनाउंस का बड़ा लफड़ा होता है, ही का शी का ही बहुत हो जाता है. इट बी वेरी लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ चीजें आप कर सकते हो, बट इट्स वेरी नाउ बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स हैव स्टार्टेड यूजिंग इट फॉर राइटिंग एसेज एंड होमवर्क. Now there is an AI tool available which can detect if what you have created is there in ChatGPT.
Then we just change the some word so that it is not a part of it.
Percentage बता कितने percent.
बता देता है. So there is a bot which can identify whether ChatGPT or any other AI generation tool generated this answer.
Avoid करना है एक और वेबसाइट है सी रील्स में.
हाँ, और उस वेबसाइट का भी तोड़ प्रोफेसर्स के पास है जिसका प्रोफेसर लोग रील नहीं बनाते ताकि तुम रील में ऐसा सोचो कि हाँ और फिर आओ और फंसो. सारे हथियार थोड़ी ना पहले से बता देंगे तुम लोग, बट मैं बता रहा हूँ. There are way, if you think you can avoid plagiarism, check. Professors have larger tools and you guys may not be able to afford the paid tools. आप तो free वाले use करोगे. Universities spend lakhs and crores of rupees to buy proper software which can break any of these things. So please don't plagiarize. Okay. Moving on. CBSE wala news. We already talked about this. From 2025, you will be given 2 chances of board exams. Too late for us. Huh? अब अगले साल होगा. लास्ट टाइम भी हमने न्यूज देखा था कि साल होने वाला है, इस साल फिर से देखेंगे अगले साल होने वाला है. सो एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर धर्मेंद्र प्रधान ही सेड that you will get a choice of appearing for SSC and HSC exams twice, and this is part of NEC. So NEP came around the same time that lockdown started, which was the National Education Policy. 2020 NEP came in 2020, in which there were a lot of changes. In fact, do you know any major changes which were there under NEP? Originally, graduation courses, undergraduate courses in India had a very particular scheme कि या तो 3 साल का कोर्स होगा या 4 साल का कोर्स होगा. Now there are systems where you can start the college. If you pass out, if you decide I want to leave after 1 year, earlier you are just declared a dropout. Now after completing 1 year, if you want to leave, you will be given a certificate. After 2 years, you will be given a diploma. After 3 years, you will get a degree. If you complete 4 years, you'll be given an honors degree. And after 5 years, if you complete, then uska bhi kuch hai. So at every point, there is an exit system. Pehle to, if you leave halfway through, you do not get anything in hand. But now the NEP is such, and now there is also, they are going to implement a credit system where you can actually shift between courses, between colleges, and use the credit already gained. So supposing you have studied in a college for, let us say, 2 semesters, you can take those credits with you, join somewhere else, so you don't have to repeat the entire thing. It will be counted. They're trying to make a very open system. But again, correct. Correct. That, see, IITs always had something called the credit systems, but those were not across universities. A lot of private universities did not have that. Now all of this is becoming a part of your regular education. Every university is supposed to follow these rules. So the National Education Policies says that giving exams twice a year will give you a better opportunity to improve your performance and also for your mental well-being. Huh? I have no idea mental well-being का क्या टेंशन होता है.
इस साल के बच्चों को 12th में और 10th में उन्हें कुछ डिसएडवांटेज ना हो उसके पूरे साल में 3 दिन विदाउट बुक्स और नाइट के जाते.
स्कूल तो करेगा, ट्यूशन वाले को कौन बोलेगा? सबको छोड़, मम्मी पापा को कौन बोलेगा? मेरी माँ तो 3 दिन छुट्टी है ना, बस बैठ के पूरा कर, और पढ़. Okay. So here you can give the exams twice and you have the option to decide कौन सा वाला स्कोर यूज करना. कौन बेवकूफ बोलेगा कम वाला स्कोर यूज कर? Isn't it obvious that, but the option is of course to retain the better score. So whichever is your higher score, that's it.
Like वो subject wise होगा या फिर overall?
तीन सब्जेक्ट इस बार और 3 सब्जेक्ट अगली बार. सही क्वेश्चन है, धर्मेंद्र साहब को पूछो. ऐसा पूरे का पूरा एग्जाम देना पड़ेगा 2 बार कि ऑप्शन है कि कुछ इस बार कुछ इस बार?
मुझे अकाउंट में एक में 18 से 70 या एक में 69
हाँ. Obviously. See, that's what he's asking. So do I have to give the entire exam choice, or can I partially give some here, partially give some there? वो तो clear framework आएगा तो पता चलेगा. But सानू की फर्क पड़ता है. अपना तो खत्म हो गया होगा तब तक. Okay. Now they're creating something called the Language Atlas of India. The Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts is creating a linguistic survey, a survey based on language, and creating something called the Language Atlas. So the different languages spoken by the people, the documents containing different languages, the local dialects, everything is being surveyed, and they'll create a map of that. You know what is an atlas, right? Language ke basis pe they are creating this atlas now. The last time this was done was before Indian independence, more than 75 years back. Done? चलो आगे बढ़े. Next, the Sudarshan Setu. Heard about this? बेट द्वारका. फ्रंट पेज पे आया था मोदी जी का, अंडर वाटर जाके कुछ कर रहे थे. So Sudarshan Setu is India's longest cable stayed bridge. You know what's a cable stayed bridge? Huh? Cables के through, like if you see the San Francisco Bridge, ऊपर जो cables है, it's not supported from just from the bottom. There are huge pillars. Pillar के ऊपर से cables आते हैं, and that keeps the bridge up. So it's not just supported from underneath. So it's the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, or even the Howrah Bridge, I think, is a cable stayed bridge, right? Bharuch. Bharuch is a cable stayed bridge. Bharuch का जो bridge था across NH8, I think. So this is Sudarshan Setu, and it is India's largest cable stayed bridge. It connects Dwarka mainland to Bet Dwarka Island, and it is over 2 kilometers long. And this was created by L&T, Larsen and Toubro. "27 meters wide, started in around 2017, costed 979 crores. It's 2.32 kilometers long." Done. Darshan Setu. Next, Golden Jubilee of which big organization was last in February? Indian. Gujarat. Amul. What does Amul stand for?
Anand Milk.
Anand Milkman's Union Limited. So AMUL is Anand Milkman's Union Limited. And it was founded by Dr. Varghese Kurian. So it is celebrating 50 years. Technically, the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, GCMMF, which is the organization which markets everything that Amul manufactures. So GCMMF is celebrating 50 years. And it is the 8th largest dairy company in the world. It sells almost 80,000 crore rupees worth stuff annually and exports to almost 57 countries. So basically, Amul's marketing is done by GCMMF. GCMMF completed 50 years, export to 57 countries, founded by Dr. Varghese Kurian. And Dr. Varghese Kurian is also known as the milkman of India.
White Revolution.
Huh? The White Revolution. What is the specific name of the scheme because of which popularity of milk was there in India, especially through Amul? This name is even there on the milk packets of Amul today. That is a slogan. But what is the name of that? I should not use the word, you'll get it, but it's called Operation something. It's called Operation Flood. Operation Flood. Even today on the packets, many times you see that word Operation Flood. So the White Revolution is for milk. Green Revolution, agriculture. Yellow Revolution, oil seeds. So just like Dr. Varghese Kurian is the father of the White Revolution, who's considered the father of the Green Revolution in India? Chipko movement was the Santhals and those tribals. And I think Bahuguna or somebody was one of the leaders in that. But no, the father of Green Revolution in India is M.S. Swaminathan, Dr. Swaminathan. Okay. So Golden Jubilee of Amul, 50 years. Started as a small group of dairy owners, basically, not even dairy owners, in fact, milkmen, who just used to get together as a cooperative society so that they are not exploited. And now it has become the 8th biggest dairy company in the world. In fact, they have produced a movie. 5 lakh farmers each contributed 2 rupees. And a movie called Manthan was produced, which is the story of Dr. Varghese Kurian. And it is part of the Guinness Book of World Records as the movie with the largest number of producers. 5 lakh producers of that movie. Chalo. Let's take one last thing. Space. India is now approved 100% FDI, foreign direct investment in space. So in space related things, 100% investment can be done through foreign direct investment. So what all is allowed? You can have satellite manufacturing, launch vehicle building, and ground infrastructure creation. Like in many sectors, because of either defense, security issues or other things, 100% investment by foreign companies is usually not allowed. Now India has opened up the space sector, 100% FDI can be done. Are we done here? In certain sectors, 100%, in certain things up to 74%, and in certain things up to 49% will be allowed FDI. Understand what is FDI, right? Foreign direct investment. That's it. We'll stop. We'll catch up at 1:30. Till then, tada, bye bye, see you.